most of them will be spooky and scary. So let's get into it. Today we have a true story. It's a cold case, and this is the Villisca. Let's call it the Villisca Axe House. So on June 9th, 1912, 8 people, including 6 children, were bludgeoned to death in their sleep in a small town Iowa farmhouse. This all occurred in Villisca, Iowa, which is a Montgomery County community of about 2,500 people. A lot of older references thought that it was important to note that this little small, like, farm community was located on the busy line of the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy rail lines. Yeah, so to set the scene, this is like a small farming town. Let's actually look up Villisca. Yeah, it's an even smaller town. As of 2024, the population in Villisca is 1,106 people. Dang. There's even less people there now than there was then. Probably because of this incident. Yeah. So let's get back into it. Now I'm looking at things about Villisca. So let's outline who the victims were of these murders. So Josiah and Sarah Moore. This was a couple in their 40s. Josiah was well off. He was the manager at the local John Deere dealership. And on all accounts, he would have been like well off and doing well for himself. Their 4 kids, they had 4 kids. I'm not sure how many boys, how many girls, but 4 kids total. And then, in addition to their own 4 kids, 2 daughters of visiting family friends were over, and these were the 2 daughters of Joseph and Sarah Stillinger. So, it's like at the time they had their friends' kids over, probably to play with their own kids, or for the summer or whatever. To set the scenery, Moore and his wife and all 6 of the kids were last seen around 10 p.m. on Sunday evening of the crime, returning home from a special children's church service. They were said to be like closely tied to the church, and they had stayed long at the church to go to a known church service. After that, all were found murdered in their beds, with their bodies being discovered Monday morning, June 10th, which is just the next day. I believe like their neighbor immediately noticed river fork towards the south of town, indicating maybe the person jumped in the river or swam upstream or something. But the bloodhounds lost the scent at a river fork at the edge of town. Several people were detained but released due to their solid alibis. Some people were even tried in court, and the cases were won or dismissed because there was not enough evidence to bring any one person down. And it kind of seemed like they were just grasping for straws at a certain point and accusing everyone in the town because they really wanted like justice for this horrific act, but they didn't get it, sadly. There were then attempts to link the crime to some axe murders that happened in a nearby town, but that failed. That did not pan out, and no relatives of the Moors or the Stillagers had any connection to the crime. They didn't know why anyone would do this to their family members. It was like really jarring and surprising to everyone. At a certain point, a federal criminologist suggested a local party may be responsible, and the local citizens called him drunk and ran him out of town. I'm not sure what the local party was. If it was like some type of group that had been previously terrorizing the area, or some type of gang that had been previously ruling and running the area, but the townspeople did not like that, and they basically tried to beat him up and ran him out of their little small town. So they took a lot of offense to whatever he was suggesting. So it is important to note that the first hours after the discovery of the body was completely botched by the local officials. The coroner didn't take notes about the conditions of the bodies, which is absolutely absurd to me, and the town marshal allowed dozens of spectators to walk through the Moore house and even handle the axe that committed the murder and was left behind by the murderer. As time passed with no motive and no solid evidence of the crime, this crime became one of America's unsolved mysteries. In 2017, a journalist named Bill James theorized that the murders could have been the work of a German immigrant drifter and logger named Paul Mueller. Mueller was believed to have committed similar murders, targeting young girls and covering mirrors following the crime. However, due to a lack of evidence, this would prevent this theory from being tested. In the end, no one was or has been to this day charged with the Villisca axe murders. So, yeah, nobody knows who did it or what, but here's what we do know. What we do know is that all of the windows and mirrors were covered with cloth after the murders. The murderers lingered in the house for hours and hours after the murder left and the murderer lingered, my bad y'all, the murderer lingered in the house for hours and hours after the murder had happened, and the murder also left the axe at the scene, which is just suspicious. It was noted that the murderer even washed up and made a snack before leaving. Now, there have been a lot of theories, and let me, guys, tell y'all mine. So, for one, I believe the federal criminologist, I think that it was a local party, a group of townspeople who, for whatever reason, did not like the Moors. And here's why I think that. Why did they get so suspicious when the federal criminologist suggested it? They called him drunk and ran him out of town. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's offensive. Like, it couldn't have been somebody in the town, a group in the town, or around the town. I don't know. Two, the coroner did not take notes about the conditions of the body. That is literally the coroner's job. That is their only job, actually. So why not? Why wouldn't the coroner miss the opportunity? Why would the coroner miss the opportunity to take notes about the body? Oh, maybe the coroner was in the local party that helped commit and cover up the murder of all of these people. Hey, I'm just saying. Moving on, the town marshal allowing dozens of spectators to walk through the house and allowing people to touch the axe, which was the murder weapon. That's suspicious. Like, I would say maybe the marshal could have the excuse of being like a small town marshal and never experiencing like a heinous act like this, so not knowing how to handle the situation and just dropping the ball. Maybe. Or the town marshal was in on it too. Or the town marshal actually committed. In my head, the town marshal committed the murder, and like the coroner and other people in the town helped him cover it up, and that was the little local party. So yeah, and if everyone touches the axe, then everyone touches the axe. There's no way to connect it to one single person. If multiple people walk through and disrupt the crime scene, then you can't say, oh, this person obstructed the crime scene, because it's like, oh, well, dozens is so many families, so many people in the town have walked through and seen this. It gets hard to narrow it down to which one person could actually be involved in this murder. Yeah, and the fact that all of the windows and mirrors were covered, to me that says that this was a group of people or a person who did not want to be identified and may have been known to the neighbors. Someone may have been able to identify their face. If it was a random group from out of town that came on the train and booked it back out on the train, why would they care to cover up everything if these people never seen them before and will never see them again? But if you live in the town with these people, and these are the people that you walk past every day, you talk to every day, your kids go to the same schools, you don't want them to know that you're people, you know? So that is my theory on what I think happened. And because the town marshal is the town marshal, he was able to help control the narrative and like absolve themselves of being guilty for this crime. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. If y'all have ever heard of this cold case, or from what I've told you so far, let me know what you guys think down below. So now the house is still up. It has not been destroyed, and it is currently owned by Darwin and Martha Lynn, who restored it and opened it for overnight stays and paranormal investigations. If you're interested at all, this is available at US Coast Adventures. Yeah, you can go there. You can stay overnight. There are a lot of people who said they've gone and they've had paranormal experiences. One instance of paranormal activity based on a Reddit report where someone went and went around the house, and they stated that a lot of people were interested in the attic, and the attic looks like particularly creepy or something, but they were more interested in the children's room. So when they went to investigate the children's room, they rolled one of the balls, and they claimed that the ball broke the law of physics by coming to a full stop and then rolling back towards them. So, I don't know. Other people just say it's creepy. People have said it didn't make them a believer of paranormal things, but it also didn't make them not a believer, you know. So you never know. And that is the story of the Villisca Axe House murders. So yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.